it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Please tell them that Mayegun today, Mayegun is live. One sec. Again, as you have read the caption as well as the description, tonight is multifaceted. Simply means, as we normally do, we'll be taking all the stories from here to there, from there to here, and all of that as the Spirit directs. How many of you have seen some of the copies or copy of the Tinubu's 2024-2025 budget? How many of you? Well, I would have probably bring that to us here, like onto your screen, you know, like see the content by content, but rather it is one kind of a boring, load of shit. You call it. It's a load of craps. However, it is also filled with, because it is filled with some of the dubious, fraudulent figures that will tell you, if you are in Nigeria and you also saw to the presentation of that 2025 budget by Tinubu, and somehow you have a little bit of expectation or hope. Okay, maybe that's a strong word. Maybe you have what is called the benefit of the doubt. Like you would like to sort of like give them benefit of the doubt and not listen to people like us that are called the naysayers. We are the truth speakers, the truth sayers. You know, the ones that will tell you the uncomfortable truth. Or we are called naysayers. So if you are one of those who wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt, my only advice for you is just one word. Don't. But if you still want to, that's fine. That's up to you. I shall be here when every one of you will come back and be like, again, you know, like what K1 called BLLB, Beshelo Leshebo. Just the same way you went is the same you will come back. Tinubu and his gang have now perfected the art of deceit, the art of false hope, giving people false hope, and turn around and blame them for why what you promised them is not happening. Last year in 2024, Tinubu presented a budget called the Budget of a Renewed Hope. I was one of those who came out to call it the Budget of a Renewed Shege. Indeed, una saw Shege. So those of you who survived 2024, welcome to 2025. Whatever you experienced in 2024 is going to be a child's play to what you are going to face economically inside that contraption in 2025. See, I am not a prophet of doom. I am just one honest, sincere fellow that is not going to call blue black for you. I'm not going to call red green, for you. I'm just going to call it exactly what it is. And if you see the load of crap that they have packaged, except for the ones they have packaged to take care of themselves, the rest is just bollock. None of it is in your interest if you begin to scrutinize that. And the more you try, the more outspoken you are going to become. But in peace like this, or like bit by bit, I could possibly help you to undo whatever it is that is coming your way. For example, they are spreading this lie, because everything about them is lie, everything. Like you can ask yourself sometimes and say, how can some basic things, why can't some basic things be truthful about these guys? Stuffs that are not really complicated, straightforward stuff, they will still lie about it. And that is why those of them, last year when they were shouting CNG, including those they paid to go and start shouting CNG this, CNG that, where are they today now? How far with your CNG? When they told you that PMS is going out of circulation. Gas is the new deal. Nigeria has so much gas. So if you cannot afford to buy a liter of petroleum, maybe you should go and convert your car to CNG. Go and convert your rent to CNG. Convert everything to CNG. They almost said that maybe you should convert your oxygen to CNG as well. It was like it was a new thing. And they were bragging about it. Where are those guys today? Where are those CNG conversion centers they promised you? Now, the old gig, the money they paid people for that has expired. Okay? Just get ready for whatever latest propaganda they're going to push this 2025. Some of them, we can possibly even project them too. Last year, Tinubu and his gang, in 2024 budget, they budgeted 19.7 or 19.8 billion naira to maintain the presidential fleet in Nigeria. For your information, before Tinubu acquired this Aloku plane that he paid 150 billion naira for, in the presidential fleet, they had 12 different aircraft, including choppers. Okay? And the way they roll, Tinubu had one for himself, one for his vice, one for his wife, one for Akpabiule, one for the speaker. And then these are just like proper aircraft. Then they have about 4 different shoppers to ferry them wherever they were going, because they no longer uses your road. They do not travel by your road, by the way. Here you get. So this, before Tinubu, the Bokwari that you knew then was spending between 4 billion and 6 billion naira on the presidential fleet. Just like every other thing within their budgets. They will spend, for example, they will spend 2 billion on buying furnitures for the president's house. In 2024, they budgeted 2.8 billion to buy furnitures. In 2025, they are spending double of that. Over 5 billion is being budgeted for furniture. What happened to the furnitures they bought last year? Utensils, their kitchen utensils. Last year, they budgeted over 7 billion naira to buy kitchen utensils, right? Pots, pans, plates, spoons, knives, and cutleries like that, right? Over 7 billion. In 2025 budget, they want to spend over 9 billion naira buying kitchen equipment for the same as Rock. Aso Rock Clinic, right? Which Tinubu never really uses. Last year, they budgeted over 4.8 billion naira for Aso Rock Clinic. Guess how much they have budgeted for 2025? Nearly 9 billion, 8.7 something billion naira for Aso Rock Clinic. So you then ask yourself and say, okay, maybe that one is healthcare. So, but the same thing they ordered, like new bed, new mattresses, new changing the bulb, mammogram, nano, all that stuff, they are buying the same thing. In the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume's office, last year, George Akume alone wrote a budget of over 200 billion naira for his own office. Yeah, including in that budget, George Akume spent, I think it was 5.4 billion naira buying computers, printers. Guess what? In this 2025 budget, George Akume want to buy two printers for 1.8 billion naira. Printer. Get ink, be industrial printer, you get? And similarly, just like other ministries too, they bought cars last year, they are buying cars this year. They bought furnitures last year, they are buying furnitures this year. Well, everything they bought last year, they are buying them this year. Because it's always like a copy and paste. So last year, they budgeted 19 billion, nearly 20 billion naira in maintenance of the presidential fleets. That is the aircraft, the choppers, the insurance, the weather. They had this weather reader or something. Here you get all of this. But they didn't spend 19 billion. They spent 13 point something billion naira. So this year, the money has now jumped to 55.6 billion naira to maintain the presidential fleet. In the budget, they said a particular aircraft will cost them the new engine. They want to buy a new engine for one aircraft for 5.1 or so billion naira, one aircraft to change the engine. They are not changing any engine. It's just like, just job for the boys. Whoever now have the opportunity to be the contractor that they will use his or her name to lift this money out. They are the latest billionaires that Nigeria is now working for. This is your reality. Even though they will tell you that you have to make sacrifices, because now they make sacrifices for them to work for you efficiently, right? They need all these things. Tinubu bought over 50 billion naira worth of cars. Can you even believe that in 2024? Guess how much they are budgeting for cars? Not maintenance of the car pool now, just cars, automobiles and all of that. In their 2025 budget, they are planning to spend over 24 billion naira for the office of the president and vice president to buy themselves new cars. In 2024, Tinubu and the shitty man, they spent 6.8 or so billion naira on feeding, eating. In 2025, they intend to spend nearly 10 billion naira. Oh, Gbajabi Amole is there too. Last year, Gbajabi Amole wrote a blank check for himself. Well, not blank check, because he wrote nearly 10 billion for himself for his own office setup. All right? Computers, printers, internet. For his office as the chief of staff to Tinubu, he spent 9.8, nearly 10 billion naira. Was how much Gbajabi Amole spent for his own office. And when it comes to then another guy, this is Ribadump, your NSA. Even though the Nigerian defense had a budget of over 400 billion naira, which cut across all kind of like, no, hang on, that was the supplementary. They actually had a budget of over 4 trillion naira for the defense. Ribadump himself alone, for his own office, NSA office, he wrote his own budget of over 48, nearly 50 billion naira was how much Ribadump collected for his own NSA office. This is not part of the Ministry of Defense budget too. But you see, when you now take a dive into all this money, you will understand why they all seem to be speaking in the same language. Because for Tinubu, everyone that is invited to the table would eat. Just make sure that when you are eating, you are at the same time praising the invitee. I mean, sorry, the person that invited you, which is Kolu. So I'm coming back to that, by the way, because yeah, the adjourning for 2027 has begun. This is now what you see on the back of the supposed NANS. Is that called the Nigerian Student National Association of Nigerian Students? I think NANS. They have already started the campaign for Tinubu 2027. So, but we'll come back to that as well. Showore was a guest 2 days ago at the channels, by the way, and we want to use some of what he shared on this platform this evening. So the first part, talking about the state of Nigeria nation, just like Obi said this, Showore did say his own too, but they did not attack Showore. They didn't pick on him like they have picked on Obi and threatening him as well, right? But he said some made some vital points that I think if you missed it, it's your chance or our chance to review that. Let's start with this.
Because I accompanied Deji Adeyonju to He's...
oh, you're not a lawyer?
No, I'm not a lawyer. Yeah, but I have appeared in court more than most lawyers in Nigeria.
Wow. Yes. We all thought you were a lawyer now.
No.
All right. So let's get straight to it. Broadly speaking, when you look at Nigeria, I know I see your activities on X and a couple of other places. There's a lot that is going on within your space. So if I were to ask you, what is the state of the nation? What would be your response?
Well, my response would be that the state of Nigerian nation is the state of anomy. That's my response. You cannot define what exactly is the state of Nigerian nation.
A lot of anomalies.
Anomalies, just anomalies everywhere in terms of security, in terms of healthcare, education, the general condition of our people, the economic condition, foreign policy. There's nothing you can piece together that will give you one single answer to your question. That's why it's called anomy.
Wow.
Yes.
So, okay, let's compartmentalize it, maybe break it down. So let's start with your assessment of the management of our resources under President Bola Tinubu. Let's begin from there.
Assessment is that it's total mismanagement of the resources of the country. And I'm not saying it because that's what people want to hear. It is because we were told, as of about a year ago when they took over power, the first decision they made was that they were going to remove subsidy. And that whatever is saved from subsidy will be applied to managing the economy better, to bring about prosperity, to bring about development, and all of that cannot be shown to anyone in the country. I just came back from my state, which is not far, Ondo State, and the state of infrastructure, road infrastructure, that's how I travel, is the worst I've seen in a long time. I've not seen poverty like I've seen until in recent times. And you could tell that typically when people travel during Christmas and New Year in Nigeria, the roads are jam-packed. But this year, as I'm aware, a lot of people couldn't travel. If there was traffic on the way, it was caused by Nigerian police extorting money from travelers, not traffic due to volume of travel. Of course, yes. I documented a lot of them on our way home.
So you have facts to that effect?
Of course.
Okay, so...
You can even find it on Google Maps. When you're traveling between here and Ore, you just put your travel on Google Maps. Everywhere you see red, most likely there's a police checkpoint there. So it's a satellite-induced fact.
So the pushback government always puts out when we have them on the programs, on our programs, to tell them, this is the state of things. They always say, but we told you that it's going to be worse before it gets better. Do you believe that?
No, they never told anybody it will get worse before it gets better. They actually said they're here to make it better. And they keep saying the same thing. But the question we need to ask ourselves in the media is that, are you talking to the right people? Because the president doesn't talk to you.
He had a media chat.
Well, that is a choreographed media chat. When you go to countries where people are serious about governance, the president doesn't have to invite some special journalists into a room to talk to them about it. They speak on the spur of the moment, on the spot, regarding what is happening as they're happening. But the choreographed media chat where you have some journalists who probably have been given questions in advance, although they denied it, is not the kind of media chat. And the media chat once in 2 years, is that a joke?
So some of the questions that were asked, I know you have your own position as far as those questions were concerned, issues around whether he would have thought through the issue of fuel subsidy removal or phase it. He kept to his word and stuck to his guns and said, look, I don't regret what I did. I think I did the right thing and I stand by it.
But the Nigerian people regret that they didn't listen to us in 2022, 2023, that this was going to be their fate. The people who are getting beaten by the economic situation regret everything about where the country is today. They cannot regret because they are the ones benefiting from it. One of the things the president said when he had a media chat I listened to, which was a total joke, was that he had a friend who had 4 Rolls Royces, and now he's now driving a Honda car, right? And nobody questioned, why did your friend have 4 Rolls Royces? But that's not the issue. Ask the president. You came into office with a small private jet. Now you have a jumbo jet. Your situation is definitely better. You came into office with a small Mercedes-Benz car. Now you are driving a gigantic Escalade. And,
but he was a rich man before he became president.
No, he didn't buy the jet with his own money. He bought it from the resources of Nigeria. And that was $150 million jet.
But they say it was highly discounted. Without speaking for them, I'm just putting back what they are telling you.
So did they show you the paperwork that it was discounted? Where did you see it? Because it's a transaction that could have been made public. But I'm just telling you, I don't need to go in that direction. That was a lie. But I'm just telling you that they are better off than they came. But Nigerian people are worse off than they met them.
If things are as bad, and apparently things are really terrible in terms of the economy, everybody could have, even they admit to that effect.
Yes.
Why do you think the Nigerian people are quiet or just holding back? Some are saying we're docile. I don't know what word to use and describe. There is no such strong agitation. You are in the opposition.
Yeah.
You are both a right activist and a politician, so you wear two caps. And then we've seen opposition not as active as it should be. So why do you think this is going on?
Well, I will explain it in two ways. One of it is scientific. And the scientific part is that Nigerians have a gene in their DNA it's called the happiness gene. Whatever the situation, they'll be happy. And it's restricted to West Africa. This is truth, scientifically. And that's why Nigerians are known as the happiest people in the world, even though they face the worst condition of life or in life. The second aspect of it, it's not true. Nigerians actually came together in August of 2024 and had a massive pushback against the government through the End Bad Governance.
10 days End Bad Governance.
And it happened for 10 days. Probably it's not precedented that Nigerians have fought consistently for that long, after an election, not after an election was disputed. Even though the 2023 election is disputed. But the resistance was against poverty and hardship. So you cannot claim that such people across the country that fought against the government face some of the most dangerous conditions against police, army, including after the protests, being children.
Tinubu and his gang have succeeded in making the people's situation even worse off. And Churel is right. They didn't tell you that it's going to get worse before it gets better. No, they didn't say that. Tinubu actually was using the terrible situation of that time, right, to assure the people that all they needed was just for him to become your president. I mean, you remember that time when he said, kẹgbẹ náírà pamọ́ a máa dìbò a máa wọlé. Then he went on to say lọ sọ pé epo àwọn á di 200 naira ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀. Remember that?
Wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ epo àwọn á di 200 á di bàbá ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀.
You remember that? But rather than it got shut up. And then they started telling you that what they are doing is to save your future. Meanwhile, if you ask them today, genuinely, if you ask them and say, how much have you saved from subsidy removal, as you promised that you are going to reinvest whatever you save from subsidy removal? Now they will start telling you that, oh, the states and the local government are collecting more money now. Because no single shishi is actually saved from any subsidy removal. It's all scam. It's all scam that you are paying through your noses today. A majority of you have actually really abandoned your cars. Businesses have suffered so much that many of them have died. People have lost their jobs only for Tinubu and his gang, who have created not a single job since they came in, except the political appointments job he's been creating for his own, for his own acolytes. Then they doctored the supposed employment data, remember? from over 60% unemployed Nigerians, they reduced it back to 4.1 or 4.2% unemployed Nigerians, making it look like Nigerians have no unemployment problems anymore. That's the only thing. That's how they solved unemployment problem in Nigeria, by doctoring the data and every other data as well. So if you ask them, where is the money you saved from? They say, no, I mean, it's about money that we didn't spend. You have answers for that, right? There is another part of that chart, which you'll read. Just a quick one.
Dangerous conditions against police, army, including after the protests, children being charged with and for treason. You can't claim that those people are docile. That's my opinion.